There is no single magical thing that will fix you. No pills, no relationship, definitely not a kid. There are no magic bullets to fix your anxiety, your ADHD, your financial issues, your alleged laziness. But there is hope. So, what does that look like? Now, it's no secret that I play FIFA a lot, EAFC, they call it now. And for those of you who don't know, it's a soccer game. It's a fun thing I like to do. I make no apologies. And the way you play it is you have a team, just like any other football team. You have your football team and you collect players and you collect these cards. Sometimes these are special cards with better players, better stats, a faster player, a player that can shoot better, stuff like that. And the predatory way this game is set up is that every so often they will release a new card of, a player that has recently done very well in real life tournament or whatever. And the game makes you believe that as long as you have that one card, your losing streak will turn around and you'll start winning matches. And it taps into a very normal human reflex, which is thinking that as soon as I have this one thing, my life will be okay. Everything will be fine if I get this one thing. And I had the same issue, the same problem when I was living back in Ecuador, where I'm from. I would always be like, as soon as I'm out of here, my life will turn around. As soon as I move, as soon as I live in another country, then my life is going to be better. And that didn't happen. Some things improved. I was able to see Taylor Swift, for example, but it didn't fix everything. Taylor's not that powerful. So here I was thinking that as long as I have this one new player, then my team will stop losing, then I will stop losing. This one thing will fix me. But life is far, far more complicated than that. In short, in order to fix your life, you have 10,000 different things that you need to take a look at. Everything is connected. Everything depends on something else. So for example, it's stuff like your sleep schedule, the kind of food that you're eating, your financial situation, your job, whether you enjoy it or not, the way you spend your time at work, with friends, doing hobbies. Is it fulfilling? And all these things add up. It's like poison damage. It's a debuff that sticks to you and stacks up. And it's sneaky and it's quiet, and you end up wondering why your life is feeling off. And it's very easy to then think, or hope rather, that the solution is simple, a one-step program. My life will be fixed if I drink lemon water every morning, or take this vitamin, or meditate in this one room at this particular hour. And we give up when that one thing doesn't work, because it's never just one thing. But it's our mindset that has to change. Much like in FIFA, you can't fix your team with one player. You have to look at your tactics, your strategies, your actual style of play. Listen, how do you like to move the ball forward? What are you good at? Who are you? How do you like to play at life? And once you have that answer, which is not gonna sound like an answer, it's gonna be more like a vague general direction. But once you have that, you can start maximizing that skill set. If you're playing a role-playing game, like, Dungeons and Dragons, whatever, if you have a wizard, you don't give the wizard the biggest sword because it doesn't maximize his abilities. It doesn't play to his strengths. You give him a staff, which is probably not going to be very good at hitting people with or doing much damage, but it enhances his ability to do magic, which is what he's good at. And you kind of have to think of your life in those terms. You have to maximize the things that you're good at. There is no magic bullet. There is no pill that's going to fix you. There is no omega-3 supplement that's going to give you a better paying job. And even some ADHD medication, I've noticed, gives you the ability to be more productive. Sure, but it doesn't tell you how to prioritize those tasks, which is part of the disability. So you just end up doing dumb shit faster. So it kind of works, but it's not a magic bullet. The real path forward is a bunch of things linked together. It's a process. It's a long-ass process. So you have to understand that in order to fix yourself, you need to know who you are and what you're good at. I believe there are several main pillars in your life that you need to figure out. One of them is where you live, your environment, your space, the safety of your surroundings. Another one is what you do for survival, work, money. Another one is your hobbies, how fulfilled you are with the activities that you do outside your job. Another one is your health, the food you eat, the quality of sleep you get. And the last one is social relationships. Could be romantic, could be sexual, could be friendly. How are those going? But you need to think about it in these terms and figure out which one of those pillars is operating at half capacity. Because one or more of these are not doing so well, are they? And there's not a single magic spell in the world that's going to fix all of them at the same time. So you need to figure out what's limping, what's missing, what can I do? And then you fix one at a time, understanding, of course, that they need constant maintenance. They don't stay fixed. It's just the nature of the beast. Now, here's the thing. I talk about systems a lot in this channel, and in this case, it turns out you yourself are a system. The way you live, the way you interact with the world is all based on habits. So the first thing you need to do is forget about the magic bullet. The idea of there being something that can fix all of these things is going to hold you back because it doesn't exist. There's never going to be that one fix. So every time you fix something with this one magic spell, you're going to find yourself hunting after something else. And that's going to make you feel like you're spinning your wheels. You're just doing stuff and not getting anywhere. But if you just change your mindset, you don't have to change what you're actually doing. The only thing you have to do is stop thinking, this thing will fix me, and instead start thinking, this thing will improve my system. You're gonna stop chasing a magical fix, and you'll start thinking in terms of having this big machine that regulates your life, and every so often you upgrade one of its parts. So that's the first thing we need to do. The second thing is you gotta figure out what you're good at and find a way to maximize that. I am having trouble figuring out what I'm gonna do next with jobs and stuff, because so far my career has been mostly coding. And I'm good at that, I'm all right. But what I'm better at is talking to people, relating to people, communicating with people. That's what I should be maximizing. And it's not easy, but it's part of my job pillar. So I'm working on figuring out what I'm best at to put my talent points on that, play to my strengths. Number 3, you got to focus on your habits. Everything from the time you go to sleep, the kind of food that you put inside you, the walks you take outside, whether they happen, who they happen with, who you're talking to, who you're hanging out with, all of these things. It can be overwhelming, but you got to stop resisting the idea of things that actually work, like sleep and healthy eating and exercise and therapy. You can't go about life like, if I sleep for 4 hours, I'll be fine. It has never worked for any human being in the history of the world, but I'm going to be the first. Same thing with processed foods or the lack of exercise. These are things that are proven to work, and it's super hard. I get it. It's super hard to change your entire lifestyle to fit this very narrow set of guidelines of things that might help. But we're not trying to be perfect. We're trying to inch a little closer to pretty good every day. Pretty good is already a lofty goal, but it's more realistic than perfection. Finally, you have to acknowledge that the tools you currently have to improve your life can get better, but it'll still take a long time for them to fully gel. The way you're living right now, you're healing. If you found this channel, that means you are healing or want to heal, and that means that you're already on that path. Even if you're starting, even if you're on square one. Square one looks very barren. There's nothing there. But even if you are on square one, I am proud of you for being at square one. There's people out there who don't even find that square. So you've had some tools to get you this far. There are things that are working. There are things that you can modify. There are things that you can improve. And that's why you're seeking to learn what you can improve. And I'm trying to be as general as possible because I'm trying to talk to a lot of people here. So it's a collection of things working together that will help you get to where you are supposed to go. But for now, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. you're doing okay. You can always improve something. You can always do better, but you already have the tools. You already want to get better. You have the willpower and you have the desire to learn and change. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to improve those systems. Like, subscribe, newsletter in the description, blah, 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 blah. What are we going to do this week? Well, this week we're going to do a couple of things. First, we're going to create a list of things you are good at. Try to think of it as a character in a role-playing game. Writing down a set of skills or interests is like writing down your character's abilities. And once you have them laid out on a piece of paper, it's going to be easier to see where to spend your skill points on. Figure out what you're supposed to be maximizing. And the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to work on one survival thing, one thing for the next 3 weeks. Now, remember, it takes a habit 3 weeks to fully take. So for the next 3 weeks, I want you to figure out which survival skill is working at half capacity. What can you improve? It could be cooking, sleeping, drinking more water, walking more. I want you to pick just one of those survival skills. One. That is your to-do list. That's the whole to-do list. And for the next 3 weeks, you're going to work on only improving that. If it's sleep, then for the next 3 weeks, I want you to try to go to sleep at 11 p.m. If you miss that window, it's fine. It's part of the process, but I want you to work on that. No guilt, just purpose. If you want to go to the gym, then start working on that and go to the gym 3 times a week. For 3 weeks, just 3 times a week. I know that more times is better, but 3 times is going to get you in the mood and it's going to make you lose the fear of going to the gym. If you want to improve your cooking, then find a way to streamline dinner time and work on eating better for 3 weeks. I have a video on how to streamline cooking that I'll link at the end, okay? And work on only one of those things. And in the comments, I want you to tell me what is the one thing that you're going to be working on. And then in 3 weeks, it's like homework. In 3 weeks, we'll come back to this channel and we'll follow up. I'll make a video in 3 weeks to see how everyone's doing. Let's talk. I'll make a video about what people have worked on, what has improved, what hasn't, how we felt about it. So let's do this. Let's do this together. Let's make it a thing. In 3 weeks, I'll put up a community post so you can tell me how everything went. In my case, I'm going to go back to the gym. That wasn't in the script. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go back to the gym. And then I'll have your comments up on the video that I'm going to put up in 3 weeks, and I'll respond to those. Can we do that? Can we make that deal? All right.